You know what it is, your boy DL47 all day through PM, popping off as much rugby league information as possible. Right now, in my opinion, the worst wooden spoon of them all. Western Suburbs 1999 wooden spoon in Australian Rugby League, so you don't miss any essential rugby league information watching this video all the way through to the end as per always. Now, let's just explain exactly why do I think this is the very worst of all the wooden spoons. So, I've said many times already, years 1920 up to 1937, there was a team called University who picked up a whopping 10 wooden spoons during that time, and at one point got 4 consecutive wooden spoons, 1934 up to 1937. During those 4 years, lost 42 consecutive games, believe it or not. I also said Parramatta got 6 consecutive wooden spoons, 1956 up to 1961. So those teams were obviously right up there as well with the worst. But just talking about individual seasons, just judging each team, like each wooden spoon, like each year's wooden spoon on its own merit. This, the cream of the crop, the absolute pick of the crop. Now, why do I say that? Because University were in fact an amateur team. Like they were students, they were in fact university students, hence the name University. So you could forgive them a little bit for performing so poorly. And even though Parramatta got 6 straight wooden spoons, like I said, this is just talking about the one wooden spoon only. None of them were as alarming as West in 1999. The only other wooden spoon anywhere near it was Canberra's 1982 wooden spoon. Did a video for that already, so you can scroll through the wooden spoon playlist on the channel to watch that one. And there's 1982 Canberra, 1999 West. They've both got their own argument for being the very worst wooden spoon. Canberra, of course, conceding 186 tries, believe it or not, in 1982. West conceding 171 tries in 1999. But West only playing 24 games compared to Canberra playing 26 in 1982. They were both conceding well over 7 tries per game on average, believe it or not. So that's sort of evens itself out a little bit. West conceding an unbelievable 944 points in defence, whereas Canberra only conceded, I think, 868 points. But at the time, tries were 3 points at the time, which means that Canberra would have conceded well over 1,000 points, had tries being worth 4 points back then. But then again, Canberra played 2 more games than West did in 1999. So they're about the same. They're about the same as each other, but this one definitely the most tragic because it stopped the end of the line for Western Suburbs Magpies as a standalone team. So the cherry on top, the reason why this is the worst wooden spoon was because it spelled the end of Western Suburbs' existence. And at least with Canberra's 1982 wooden spoon, it's been 42 years since then, and they've never got another wooden spoon since. And this was Western Suburbs' 17th wooden spoon, which is still the record for most wooden spoons by any team ever. And I did the West 1998 wooden spoon recently, and that was bad enough. Well, yeah, that actually wasn't as horrendous as it was, and it was one of the very worst wooden spoons of them all. It actually didn't really compare very much to West in 1999. Now, why do I say that? Because in 1998, West at one point won 3 out of 5 games in the middle of the season, like what I call hot air intervals. Every now and then they play a little bit better in 1998 before collapsing again and losing the last 10 consecutive games, half of them by humiliating margins. Well, in 1999, West never had any hot air intervals. They were destined from the spoon from round 1, absolutely destined for it. At no point were they playing any better. They won only 3 games in 1999, and they lost the last 12 consecutive games in 1999. 10 out of the last 12 losses by humiliating margins. So that's why it's the very worst of all wooden spoons. And in 1998, the fans were growing impatient, but at least hanging in there. By the time 1999 rolled around, when West played their home games at Campbelltown Stadium, fans were up on the barrier at half-time and at full-time, holding cans of bottles on their own players as the players walked off the field. Disgraceful scenes. And of course, by the end of the season, like when we were down to the last 4, 5, 6 games of the season, and West were just conceding monster scorelines every game without fail. The local newspapers, of course, had massive A2 size pages with a picture of an animated picture of a tombstone with the Western Suburbs Magpies lying on it, which, as confronting as it was very confronting, but unfortunately it was also very true. So, yeah, this is what makes it the very worst wooden spoon of them all. So let's get into the stats, and they're horrendous, as you can probably work out. In 1999, from 24 games, like I said, West winning only 3, losing 21, scoring only 285 points, not even 12 points per game, just under 2 converted tries per game only on average, and in defence conceded that unbelievable, inconceivable 944 points from 24 games, 39 and a third points per game, nearly 40 points per game on average. So on average, they were losing the games 40 points to 12 on average. Now, every team is human. We're not perfect. Every team is going to cop a few hidings every season. You do expect to have like at least 2 or 3 games during the season where you lose a game by about 40 points to 12, but not averaging that every game. That's the average losing margin. Absolutely unthinkable. And just like 1998, the only standout players were Brett Hodgson and Kevin McGuinness, which I already mentioned. So the leading try scorer, Kevin McGuinness, got 12 tries for them. And there was another player called Justin Brooker who got 9 tries for them. And the leading point scorer, again, the outstanding Brett Hodgson, who got 5 tries, 18 goals, 56 points for them, which was actually a lot, considering how woefully they were performing, considering he had next to no opportunities. Opportunities were scarce in such a poorly performed team to score any points. And Hodgson being able to stand out in such a woeful team proves what a champion player he would become when he moved to Parramatta in the year 2000 after 2003, and then came back to West Tigers 2005 to 2008, and he inked his name into the club's folklore with his brilliant form for both teams. So showing what an awesome player he would become, being able to stand out in such a horrible team. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. The worst one is moving them all, so the only thing left now is the horrendous scores. So we'll start with the moments in the sun, the only 3 games they did win. In round 7, 1999, West managed to beat South 2018. Nothing to get excited about because South were a struggling team too, like I've already said. In round 12, they beat Penrith 7 points to 6 in a contender for worst game of all time. Easily one of the worst games we've ever seen. And I've got a video for that coming, specifically that game by itself, just to go into a bit more detail. And then in 1999, round 14, West had managed to beat Balmain 18-12. So the only 3 games West won, they won by a combined total of 9 points. They can only conjure 9 positive for and against points for the whole season. In every other game, they're getting towed up. Just about every other game, they're getting towed up. On 5 occasions in 1999, West conceded 40 points. On 2 occasions, they conceded 50 points. And on another 5 occasions, they conceded 60 points. So that's 12 times in the season they conceded at least 40 points. So that's how they ended up conceding 40 points on average. Absolutely disgraceful. So all that's left now is to go for all West scores in 1999, 26 rounds and 2 byes, so 24 games. So 1999 round 1, West kicked off with a alarming 30 points to 12 loss to the North Sydney Bears. In round 2, they had the bye. In round 3, they were dead and buried already. Well, which one's the most embarrassing moment? Any of them. Take your pick. Take your pick as any of them. Okay, in my opinion, this one in round 3. 1999 round 3, West obliterated by Penrith 60 points to 6 at Penrith Park. Only that early in the season, they'd already conceded 60 points, which just, meant they weren't doing anything in 1999. So in my opinion, that's the most embarrassing, even though there's a lot of other 60-point scorelines as well. 1999 round 4, a 38-14 thumping by Canberra. Round 5, a 26-2 thumping by Newcastle. Round 6, they had the bye, didn't they need it? Round 7, a rare win. They beat South 2018. Not suggesting any better form was coming. Was at least a win though, at least they managed to get something. In round 8, I lost to Balmain 28-16. In round 9, I lost to Canterbury Bulldogs 26-12. In round 10, yet another thumping. 2 60-point thumpings already in the first 10 games. In round 10, 62 points to 6 obliteration by Melbourne Storm. In round 11, 38-18 thumping for Roosters. In round 12, that was one of the worst games we've ever seen, where they beat Penrith 7-6. And Leo Denver got the match-winning field goal for them, so at least they managed to get something. And only 5,087 people attended that game. That's how low West attendances were for the season. In round 13, a 50-0 shutout by Brisbane Broncos. In round 14, the last game they would ever win as a standalone team, they beat Balmain 18-12. Coincidentally, with the team that ended up merging with at the end of 1999, where 2 struggling teams became one. Then in round 15, a 16-10 loss to South. So the first of 12 consecutive losses, at least that one was a huge one. But after that, there was only one more game that wasn't an embarrassing loss. In round 16, 44 points to 4 thumping from St George Illawarra. In round 17, 48-10 pining from Newcastle. In round 18, 20 points to 12 loss to Roosters, the only one that wasn't embarrassing. So the remaining games are all embarrassing. In round 19, absolutely ridiculous 80-point game. I lost to Manly 48-32 at Brookvale. 80 points, meaning that both teams had 0 defence. Point per minute, can you imagine that? In round 20, 68-10 annihilation from Parramatta. In round 21, 56-16 annihilation from Bulldogs. In round 22, 64-16 annihilation from Canberra. In round 23, another shutout, 46-0 shutout by Cronulla at Shark Park. In round 24, 44-14 thumping from Melbourne Storm. Coincidentally, I was about to say they lost 44-14 twice, but they didn't. My bad. 44-14 lost to Melbourne in round 24. In round 25, 36-14 lost to Cowboys. Now that one, even though it's 36 points, not 40 or 50 or 60, it's just as bad as all the others because Cowboys in 1999 were still searching for their first finals appearance. Cowboys entered the comp in 1995. They took until 2004 to make their first finals appearance, which means 1995 all the way up to 2003. Cowboys were stuck down in the bottom four nearly every season without fail too. So 36-14 loss to Cowboys was in fact as humiliating as the big scorelines. And then the final game was whoever played as a standalone team, getting rubbish pelted on them left, right, and centre by their own home fans. 60 points to 16 annihilation from the Warriors at Campbelltown Stadium. So there you go, the very worst wooden spoon of them all. I've been harping on about this for many, many months, saying that eventually I was going to do West 1998, 1999, how horrendous they both were, and there you go. So now, nearly into the new millennium, next one is the Queensland Cowboys 2000 wooden spoon. Western Balmain had no choice but to merge at the end of 1999, as we all know. All they did was turn two struggling teams into the one struggling team, and as West Tigers, they had that magical 2005 season where they won the comp, and they also made the finals in 2010 and in 2011, but aside that, have really not done very much at all, and have picked up the three most recent wooden spoons in a row, which we'll obviously get to when we finish the series. In the not too distant future, we're nearly there, getting towards the end now. So there you go, your boy all day, D47, A and B and pop off. Thank you so much for watching all the way through to the end, so you didn't miss any essential rugby league information. And thank you as always for ongoing polarising, brutal, malevolent, sick, twisted, evil support. Your boy all day, D47, toodaloo.